Sorry about that, card ran out. Bugger, eh? Just at the salient moment. Anyway, we'll put our... I'll leave a little bit of a gap there. So, yeah, I reckon you can get that at 400 pieces in if you cut them. Does that make it easier to get them down there? Yeah, it's starting to shift now. So yeah, you do actually pull it up. It does. Okay, so basically, yeah, in my day, encryption was something you had to be adult to see on the at the big screen of the drive-in. So anyway. Now we're at our, yeah, I'll do it some more. Now we're at our known quantity of copper to match the amount of phosphate in that amount of volume, and we'll see what. See, let's do. And yes, it still is reacting. Good, and we'll consistently mix this up, and we'll see what happens, and we'll leave it, and we'll inoculate it with our cyanofider and our control red organism that grew in the charcoal and the popcorn. Took a while to get going, but when it got going, it certainly got going. So. And see if this can stay consistent in colour or something else happens. I think I've already noticed that the phosphate has got some sort of colour change on the actual beads of phosphate, so that'll be something to look out for. Okay, so we'll see. Anyway, I don't know if that could actually pick up that colour. I don't know. Can it pick that up? So maybe it'd be better in the sun for later. Anyway, we'll take this out and we'll label it and inoculate it and do everything else. But just to see, oh, there is no sun. I was going to put it right next to this one, but maybe we can get some sunnage out here. Okay. There's a bit of a colour change there. I don't know how far I have to get the camera in, if it's actually going to focus, and so on and so forth, but we'll see. Okay, and we'll basically label it, inoculate it, and it will sit next to that one. So now we've got that one, that one, that one, and compared to that one there, we have one with no phosphorus in it, one with phosphorus in it, one with phosphorus and no copper, and we've got one over there which is just the phosphorus and the polystyrene, no ammonia. So between those four we should be able to make some get some data back and head forward, and then we'll see what about salt and things like that, and head forward that way. I think if I see anything reaction, suddenly if it suddenly goes green in like 6 hours or something, I'll probably be out here, with a torch at night time showing you that or something like that. I'm not sure, we'll see. But considering the salt one hasn't gone green, if you consider ammonia as a kind of, it's not really a salt. A true salt, of course, is a fluoride, a chloride, bromide, and iodide. They are true salts. Other things like sulfates and phosphates, they're called salts in quotes, but they're not true salts sort of thing. So just if you don't know your chemistry, there are only 4 groups of true salts, basically. The absolute, the halides, well, the halides or the halides, I suppose some people pronounce them. Of course, you've got lots of extremophiles that live in salt, and you've even got specialists that actually have the shape like the salt. Because they've evolved in the salt, they've found it easier to mix in with the salt by actually having cubic cells. You should look that up, it's quite interesting. And also you find all sorts of weird things, like they have gigantic cells and things like that. Some of them, in places like that, we find they found a giant cell. You know, one you can actually see with the naked eye. It's so macroscopic, you can actually see it with the naked eye. You don't have to look at it under a microscope. It's just a single cell. It's quite amazing. So there's been quite a lot of, you know, science is still moving on and making new discoveries. So, you know, don't write it off just yet, and don't write off the scientific method. It's not going to crack what it is about CPs, but of course it will only work, and it only works really well, really fast and efficiently when it's built on firm foundation. That's been the whole problem, I think, with CPs. It's just, you know, we've had all these inconsistencies and all these theories that don't address those inconsistencies, basically, and haven't put it on firm foundations. So yeah, don't put all your faith in Darwin, basically. So if you worship at the altar of Darwin, I think you might actually end up be in for a shock. I'm just putting out a warning out there for you fellas. You know, if you worship at the altar of Darwin, he may be fantastic and all the other stuff, but remember, he did the CPs late in life, and he pumped out that book within the last 2 years of his life. So, you know, he could have got a few things wrong, and he could have been, if he lived for another 20, 25 years, he could have said, he could have been a bit like Adrian Slack on the old leaf mould sort of thing. He sort of put it out in his first book, and then he rescinded it in the second book, and I'm thinking, yeah, there's a bit of jiggity-poggity going on there, you know. And maybe it was too good or something, and he wanted to, well, we don't really want you to grow these CPs too well. we want to keep you buying these plants like money for jam sort of thing. I don't know, but yeah, he certainly sort of shuffled off this. I don't know what sort of drugs they had him on too, but geez, there's some of those photographs that turned up in CPN. He looked like younger than he did 20 years before. You know, that's just incredible. I mean, you know, yeah. You can push me so far when I see things like that, thinking, whoa, Jesus, you know, maybe these drugs have got something to them, you know. He's certainly on the good shit. You know, I try to avoid drugs as much as possible, but when you see things like that, when someone 20 years later looks actually younger, maybe looks 30 years younger than he did back 20 years before, you think, whoa, that's a bit, that mate, he's going to live to 150, you know. Maybe he will, maybe he'll have the last laugh. We'll all be dead, and there'll be Adrian Slack, aged 150, having the last laugh. I don't know, you know. He all taught us to be slack, but he's going to live to 150 and have the last laugh. Outlive the Flowery by 75 years, hopefully. Okay, see ya, over and out.